Greetings, my name is Najma Muhammad, and I wanted to do this video because oftentimes I hear or I read where some black women will say all black men are dogs. And if you subscribe to that theory, then the next question you have to ask yourself is, who's giving birth to these dogs? And if you call yourself a bitch, then as a bitch, your only option is a dog. And if you're the baddest bitch, then your only option is the worst dog. See, we as women, we have dual wombs. We have the ability to give birth via our mental wombs and via our physical wombs. Through our mental wombs, our thoughts and actions give birth to certain types of behavior. If we as women sleep with a man and no discipline is required in order for him to sleep with us, if we don't make marriage a requirement, because when a man marries a woman, he's saying, I'm taking responsibility for this woman. If we don't make those requirements and we sleep with him anyway, and then we say, oh, we got dogged out, but what type of foundation did we lay? What are we saying? See, this is the thing. If nothing was required to obtain us, then nothing is required to sustain us. And sisters, we are the second self of God. We are the co-creators of life. God didn't say, well, let me make a bitch so a bitch can console me. Because a bitch can't console, sisters, nor can a bitch nurture. We place ourselves on the level of a canine, already a low level. So a bitch can never elevate a man. And what you do when you call yourself a bitch, you become a dog groomer. You feed a dog. You train a dog. Then you complain about that dog that's in your house. But when you called yourself a bitch, you invited that dog in your house. And I know some women will say, well, black men call black women bitches too. And that is not proper. But at the same time, a lot of black men call us bitches because they hear us call ourselves bitches. And not only when they call us a bitch, we answer to it. Sisters, this is the thing. We have to change the way we see ourselves. Every day I'm giving birth to God via my mind. And you have that same capability, but you have to change your conception process. And that starts in your mind first. A bitch is nothing but a dog. I've never heard a man say, oh, I want to wife that bitch. I want to marry that bitch. I can't wait for a bitch to have my babies. Because a man isn't going to choose a bitch to start or continue his legacy. And what type of legacy could a bitch create or continue? Because all a bitch can do is give birth to a pack of dogs. And sisters, you won't get tired of being dogged out by men until you get tired of calling yourself a bitch, until you get tired of seeing yourself as a bitch. We call ourselves everything but except what God called us. We are goddesses. Why don't we want to be godly women? Why don't we want to tap into that side of ourselves? And then we complain about the type of men that we bring in our life, but we have to change the way we see ourselves. See, a bitch ain't nothing but a female dog. That's why I keep repeating that word over and over again. No matter how you try to flip it or redefine it, a bitch is a bitch is a bitch. A bitch is a female dog. But sisters, we are not bitches. We are goddesses. We are queens. We are the second self of God. So let's try to work on the way that we change ourselves first, because we have to change the way we view ourselves. And once we change the way we view ourselves, then others will see us in that same light. So I'm asking us to stop calling ourselves bitches. And let's try calling ourselves what we really are, black queens. And trust me, you'll get much more respect being a queen than you ever will being a bitch. Peace and greetings.